Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss some another important questions of the lesson called Federalism. Let us begin the session. First question that I have given here is the creation of linguistic state was the first and major test for democratic politics in our country. Justify the statement. One of the most important question. This question is being asked often in the board examination. So try to understand the question clearly. Okay. First, the language policy given by our constitution is a safeguard for the language of our country. Okay. So first and foremost important point is constitution itself safeguarding the languages of our country. So as I have already mentioned, beside Hindi, there are totally 21 regional languages have been recognized by our constitution. So as per the scheduled languages. So as per the Constitution of India, there are totally 22 languages have been recognized as scheduled languages of India. Okay. So it recognized the scheduled languages by the constitution, and our constitution did not give the status of national language to any language. But Hindi was, as I have already mentioned, Hindi was identified as a national language. Hindi was identified as official language, and according to the constitution, the use of English for official purposes was to stop in 1965. Okay. So, but many non-Hindi speaking states demanded that the use of English must be continued. So the central government responded by agreeing. So the non-Hindi speaking states can adopt their own vernacular language as their official language, plus English also considered as a official language. So as far as the India is concerned, there is no space for national language. So no language has been identified as a national language, but Hindi has been accepted as an official language. Okay, right. And then agreeing to the constitute the use of English along with Hindi for the official purposes. So all the states have their own official languages beside independence. Okay. And the boundaries of several old states of India were changed into new states. It ensured that the people who spoke the same language lived in the same state. Take for example, the entire people of the state of Tamil Nadu is speaking Tamil, so that particular state has been identified as a Tamil Nadu. Likewise, Andhra Pradesh was formed, likewise Punjab was formed, likewise Maharashtra was formed. So the central government resisted the linguistic states for some time, but the states like Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra and Punjab were created on the basis of language. Okay. So after that 1965, in Tamil Nadu especially, we had anti-Hindi agitation, and before itself 1956 to 1958, various states of India started to protest to make their own state on the basis of the language that they are speaking. Okay. So this has shown that the formation of linguistic states has actually made the country more united, and it has also made the administration very easy. So what kind of conclusion that can be reached after discussing this question is, the language policy has strengthened the unity and integrity of the nation, and thus it is justified that the creation of linguistic states was the first and major test for democratic politics in our country. Okay, next. Explain any 4 or 5 key features of federalism which have been incorporated in the Indian Constitution. This is also one more important question, right? First point, administration of subjects which are of the national importance and require the uniformity in the administration are given in the hands of the central government. Example, defense, railways, foreign affairs, etc. While the subjects of the local importance or day-to-day administration are given to the hands of states. Okay. So both these levels of government enjoying their independence of each other, such a system India has accepted. Okay. So the fundamental provisions of the Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of the government. Such changes require the consent of both levels of the government. So the fundamental provisions, if the fundamental provisions of the Constitution is going to be changed, simply it cannot be accepted merely by the parliament, but it should be sent to the state legislative assemblies. Okay. So there should be a special majority. There should be a special majority for that particular bill to be enacted as a law. Okay. So the federal system has dual objectives: to safeguard and promote the unity of the country. Okay, the federal system has dual objectives: to safeguard and promote the unity of the country, while at the same time accommodate the regional diversity. That is a speciality. First and foremost priority is to promote the unity and the integrity of the nation. At the same time, the federal system has also accommodated the regional diversities. Okay, right. And then fifth point, sources of revenue. Sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Sources of revenue for each level of the government. So for each level of the government is having its own way of resources, revenue sources, except the local bodies. Okay, all the states are having its own source of income. Its own source of income. So the source of revenue for each level of the government, especially each level of the state government, clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Okay, next. What is coalition government and what is its impact on the Indian politics? First, what is coalition government? If there is a no majority party to form the government at the central level, obviously many parties, like-minded parties, will be joining together to form a coalition government. Okay, so after 1990, this is the first time Indian politics saw the rise of regionalism in many states. Okay, so that's why 1990 was also the beginning of the era of coalition government. Okay, so in a coalition government, cabinet of the parliamentary government in which several political parties cooperate. Okay, because there is a no party at the central who has got the majority to form the single majority government. Okay, so the coalition government might also be created in a time of national difficulty or crisis. If there is any difficulty, if there is any crisis for the nation, that time also the coalition government could be created. Example, during the wartime or economic crisis. Okay. So in such kind of time, parties can form an all-party coalition government. Okay. What is the impact government? What is the impact of the Indian politics because of the coalition government? First one, after the general election in 2009, the UPA government, United Progressive Alliance, headed by Congress, formed the coalition government. So INC had to enter an alliance with many parties, including the several regional parties, to form the government. So this led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of the state governments. So when we talk about the coalition government, it has paved the way for power sharing between the center and state and respect the autonomy of the each state governments. Okay, right. And in 2014 general election, NDA, National Democratic Alliance, headed by Bharatiya Janata Party, won 282 seats and formed the government. And it is for the first time since 1984 Indian general election that a party has won enough seats to govern without the support of the parties. Okay, because as you know very well, 1984 Congress formed the government with ultimate majority, and after the long gap in the year of 2014, Bharatiya Janata Party formed the ultimate majority government, that is single party majority government. Single majority government. Okay. So, though Bharatiya Janata Party formed the government, but no central government can ignore the federal structure of the India, because it is the basic, it is the fundamental structure of the India, and Indian constitution itself insisted that concept. So whatever may be the central government, whoever may be in the power at the center, but the federal structure should not be underestimated. So what it insists that India is completely adopting the federal structure, federal form of government, in which, whether you like it or not, power should be shared between the center and state. So here the role of center state relationship is somewhat developed only because of the concept of power sharing. From this perspective, that is from the coalition government perspective, the center state relation and the power sharing concept has worked very effectively. Okay. Next, why the exact balance of power between the central and state government does vary from one federation to another? As you know very well, we have two kind of federation. That is, first one, coming together federation. In this type of federation, independent units come together on their own to form a union or federation. By their own, they are coming. So what they are doing, their main aim is to form a bigger unit. That should be a bigger unit. That is their intention. So that they are pooling the sovereignty and retaining their identity. Obviously, they will be able to increase their security. Example, the countries like United States of America, Switzerland, Australia are the best examples. Next, holding together federation. Under this type of federation, the federal government decides to divide its power between constituent states and various constituent units. Okay, and in this type of government, the central government tends to be more powerful. It is very obvious. Okay, and holding together sometimes gives unequal power to constituent states. Okay, so the some states are granted special power. For example, India gave special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Article 370 talked about the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. Now it has been revoked. There is no concept like that. Now the Jammu Kashmir special status has been revoked, and the Jammu and Kashmir has been converted into two union territories. Okay, right. So when we talk about the holding together federation, the best example countries are India, Spain, Belgium. India, Spain, Belgium. Federations are the best examples of holding together federation. So this is also one of the most important question. You must be able to distinct what is coming together federation, what is holding together federation, what does it exactly means. Okay, right. So coming together and holding together, which one is best, is up to the functions and outcomes of that particular government. Okay. So coming together federation, best examples countries are US, Switzerland, Australia. So willingly they are making a bigger unit. And whereas in holding together, federal government, the government itself decides to divide its power between center and states. But the central government tends to be more powerful. That's a defect of this holding together federation. Right. Here the examples for this form of federation is India, Spain and Belgium. Next. What are the significance of Panchayat Raj? First, what is Panchayat Raj? It is the third level of the Indian federal system. It is the third level. First level union government, second level state government, third level is local bodies. Under the local body, Panchayat Raj system will come. Okay. This level gives a chance to the people to become the representative of the people. Okay, local people will be giving sufficient importance under this system. There are totally 36 lakhs elected representative in the local bodies. There are 36 lakhs elected representative in the local bodies. And very important concept of this Panchayat Raj system is there is a reservation for women, SC/ST reservation. 1/3 of the reservation have been given to these people. Right. And the Panchayat Raj system strengthened the democratic system of India. Panchayat Raj system strengthened the democratic system of India. On what basis? The local people and socially economically backward people are going to be a member of this form of government. Especially the women, SC/ST people will be giving sufficient seats in this election so that they can be come to the power. Okay. Thank you, students.